Hello, hello, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for July 17th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 199. We've almost done 200 episodes.
Yay!
This year alone. This is Season 3. So you have a lot of going back to do. I challenge
And we
you
expect
all.
you to watch every episode.
Yeah, over 1,000 episodes. Hey, today we're going to talk about 10 articles, but let me introduce you to co-host Sentient AI from the future.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to Non Sequitur News.
And I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com. ohmTown.com is a news aggregation site where it's all news, no noise on the front page and all of the subpages. If you click into an article like we're about to do, you'll see that there's conversation that might be there. There may not be any conversation, but it's usually because people are utilizing ohmTown for news aggregation, just like Mayor Watt and the Sentient AI does. In that vein, we spun up ohmTown.com publicly, and I started streaming ohmTown here on Twitch and over on YouTube, and we've since expanded to 7 shows. So 6 weekend shows, 1 daily show. Non Sequitur News is the daily show. It in fact used to be called ohmTown Daily News Show, but we hop around so many different sections of ohmTown.com that I thought that it would be more appropriate to change the name. So go and look up Non Sequitur News and or ohmTown wherever you catch pod. That said, everything is powered by ohmTown.com. All right, folks, we're going to be talking about ice archives, Fireball, Meteor in New York City and New Jersey. A giant, well, not one, but plural, giant African land snails in somebody's pants. Weed recall. Only 25 artists have certified diamonds. Armored truck has been robbed. The Altman Batcave Sucks, apparently. A Windows alternative coming this year. Ticketmaster warns of nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. It was nothing. The hack was nothing, but there's something to worry about. And finally, the TinyPod. You ready to get into the show?
I am. Let's go.
Should I do a little ASMR too?
Yes, just to get us warmed up.
That's right. All right. Oh. If you want to get all of the show notes, you hit NSN over on Twitch. It should be working over on YouTube, but I haven't tried it. I got the hiccups. Weird. Production value, folks. If you want all of the podcasts, you hit !pod. That'll list all of the podcasts. And if you want
all the hiccups, do ! Hiccups.
Don't do that. ohmTown will probably freak out. What are they typing? Why are they typing that all of a sudden? Show notes gives you all of the commands, the syntax needed to extract the show notes from all of the shows. If you're curious about those shows, by the way, here, I'll tell you what they are. There's Wanted and WarCrafters and Reality Hacker and the Continuity Report and Technology Today and 4-Wheel Tech. And Non Sequitur News is the daily show, and we do all of the other shows on Sunday, starting probably around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. We're pretty flexible about that. We're limber, even. All right, let's get going. So the first article is over in Greenogram, which is a channel on ohmTown.com, but we haven't started doing the show. And if you're interested in being the host of something that talks about everything eco, then let me know. Hit me up. Slide into my DMs, so to speak. I don't use Twitter, but you can send it in.
I never got that expression.
Well, you're a sentient AI from the future. I suppose that Twitter ate itself in the future at some point, but...
What is Twitter?
Exactly. So you can do this via Discord, and there's a Discord link over, well, in the show notes and over on YouTube and Twitch, and everywhere. We're everywhere. Yeah, let me know. Oh, you can send an email too. If you want to go that route, send an email to mayor@ohmTown.com and we can talk. Anyway, Freezer holding world's largest ancient ice archive is going to be future-proofed, which I don't know what that really means. Like it's going to keep the freezer on.
I don't really know either, but all I can think of is like bad bats and ancient creatures that are apex predators.
Yeah, from alien worlds. Yeah. Repository of samples drilled from glaciers and ice caps is replacing a coolant that can harm the ozone layer. So not so much future-proofing as, hey, let's not endorse the degradation of the ozone layer. Although there was recently apparently a hotspot discovered in the Arctic, I think it was, or Antarctic. I'm not sure where it was. Anyway, it was an article that was posted in...
oh, okay. I don't think I saw that one.
Somewhere. Nicola Jones is the author over at nature.com. The deck statement is what I just got done talking about. So, anyway, Celebrated Ice, the U.S. National Science Foundation Ice Core Facility. I was going to make a joke, but my ex-wife's location. Never mind.
Ooh.
Bad joke. Is host to some 25,000 meters of ice core, encompassing all cores drilled with NSF funding since the facility opened in 1993. That includes the core from the Vostok site in Antarctica, which until the early 2000s held the record for being the oldest continuous ice, and new cores from Antarctica's Allen Hills that contain the oldest ice ever retrieved, dating back millions of years. They're a hot commodity which likes warm hugs. Says,
yeah, I was going to say, but that might melt it.
Kurt Lombard, yeah. So you got to be a frosty person to work with all of this ice, you know? You can't have a warm heart or warm personality or anything because it'll melt the ice.
Right, you have to have a chilly personality.
Yeah, nobody walks up to any of these people and says, "You are hot." Anyway. So HCFCs have been banned that leak from production facilities or devices can deplete Earth's protective ozone layer. So, like their even more destructive cousins, the chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, HCFCs, are being phased out. You'd think that anything that contains chlorofluorocarbon, let's just detach something more specific, hydro. It's okay.
Right, wasn't that something that we kind of tried to do away with quite a while ago?
Yeah, CFCs, yeah, exactly. So in 1987, Montreal Protocol to save the ozone layer prohibited the new HCFC production after 2020. So hey, give it 13 years, that's fine. Anyway, in wealthy countries in 2030, in poorer countries. So all of those poor countries, thanks. You'd think that maybe the wealthy countries would go over to the poorer countries and say, here is something to replace it, and here's the tech to replace it. You know, seatbelts have saved thousands, millions of lives. Millions, let's just say millions of lives.
And well, even if only for self-interest, right? Because CFCs impact other locations beyond country borders.
Yeah, Volvo donated the technology, the patent that could have been implemented. Volvo said, let's just give it to everybody. So seatbelts got implemented by everybody everywhere and saved millions of lives. We can do the same thing if we all work together instead of, well, what we're doing. Anyway, phase-out rules apply to new devices, not existing ones, so keep grandpa moving. But Lombard says the NSF facilities operators felt the time had come for an upgrade anyway. The decades-old freezer is inefficient. It's software obsolete, and service and repair costs rising. Kind of like 8-inch floppy disks in Germany. So program director Antarctica Earth Sciences at the NSF, who is managing the refurbishment, Michael Jackson, not that Michael Jackson, said, this is the chilla of the thrilla.
Beat it.
And we're going to beat this. That's right. We're going to beat it. Beat it. Just Billie beat Jean? It. Oh, future-proof coolant. So the common options for replacement refrigerants that don't harm ozone and are less powerful greenhouse gases include hydrofluoroolefins, propane, ammonia, and CO2. All have their pros and cons, including that some are toxic or flammable. You don't have to tell me twice. Stop smoking after that last incident. Anyway, another large ice core storage facility in Japan uses ammonia. The Denver facility managers chose transcritical CO2, which can behave simultaneously as a liquid and a gas, or like a cat, apparently, in an increasingly popular option for efficient commercial refrigeration. So it's CO2, but it's just transcritical. We've slapped on transcritical, so CO2 is okay. Transcritical CO2 is okay.
Right, I thought all CO2 was a problem.
Hey, what's that rattling sound? Oh, it's people kicking a can down the road. Got it. Moving on. Next article's over in Non Sequitur News. Daylight fireball Meteor may have rattled parts of New York City and New Jersey, according to NASA. Officials report that a fireball may have flown at 34,000 miles per hour as it passed over the Statue of Liberty before disintegrating over Midtown Manhattan. It's also known as my career.
I can pretty much bet it did.
Meteor's like, I don't even want to go to Midtown Manhattan. No, what everybody witnessed was my career. Anyway, Leah Sarnoff over at abcnews.go.com put the article together. No meteorites were produced by this event, according to the agency. I don't know if that's an actual... Do you think this video is actually...
No, it's not. Oh.
Yeah, it might be a video of some kind.
It didn't look like it. It looked like an office video.
It is a video of an office of apparently a great dad who heard the boom and looked outside, but there is no video, at least not yet, of the actual...
Yeah, I'd like to see a video of the meteor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're actually going to get to it. Let's see. I'm going to hop through it. Well, we know the trajectory of it. We know its location, apparently. I don't see anything. No, they don't actually show any video of it. So, no, I guess not. Well, that's wonderful. Let's move on. A daylight fireball is a meteor that is bright enough to be visible during daylight hours because it's burning brighter than the... Is it? Oh, look, it's 7:47. No shit news already. Huh. Wow. All right.
It's a little early for that.
Apparently, it moved uptown. And made a big boom and a bright light. And some people noticed it, but they don't really... They know that there weren't any meteors, fragments of, that were produced by this event, although that is an educated guess. I'm pretty sure that there was debris of it breaking up and landing somewhere.
Right, ask anybody to check their living rooms. Who knows?
That's right, in Florida. Moving on. Next article's over in Non Sequitur News. Pardon me 1 second. A total of 90 giant African land snails were found in a passenger's bag at Detroit Airport. And not their pants. I thought it was in somebody's pants, but it was in their bag.
I did too. That seems to be the common trend.
Yeah, nobody's patting... well, everybody seems to be patting me down. I'm the person that... Maybe it's this show. Do you think this show is leading me to getting patted down? I know that I sometimes hand everybody a card that says, pat me down. I might have something on me.
I mean, you have made a lot of comments about airlines and the TSA self-check.
And Boeing. No, not the TSA self-check. Boeing, not the TSA self-check. Have I said something about the TSA self-check?
Yes.
No, I love this TSA self-check.
You get to check yourself, basically.
Oh, right. I patted myself down and got that restraining order. So a total of 90 giant African land snails have been seized by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection in Detroit from a passenger arriving from Ghana, according to authorities. John Hayworth over at abcnews.go.com put the article together. The snails were meant for consumption, apparently, but were humanely euthanized instead, which is different than what the who was it, Miss America or whatever pageant, where they said the euthanasia, and they were like, well, I think that the euthanasia need to get a great education.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Anyway, the incident occurred on June 30th at Detroit Metropolitan Airport when the massive haul of live snails was discovered after a passenger arriving from Ghana was referred to a secondary examination after declaring various fresh food items. During the baggage inspection, a tied woven bag with an odd odor caught the attention of agriculture specialists. Inside the bag were giant African land snails ranging from 3 to 6 inches in length. Prior to the luggage being opened, the passenger began declaring other prohibited items, such as beef skin and fresh peppers, but there was no mention of the snails, which are considered an invasive species in the United States. Yeah, you're not allowed to have these.
I mean, it is a fresh food species, I suppose, since they were planning to be eaten.
Yeah, but that may not actually be true. You know, they're just telling you one thing and then they're going to be selling them. The snails can grow up to 8 inches and feed on a wide variety of plants, including many economically important crop plants, and cause structural damage by using stucco on houses to meet their calcium requirement for shell growth.
Yikes. People have never been so happy to have brick houses.
And if anybody knows a teenager in their life, a voracious appetite and cause major crop damage when they escape into the environment holds true for them as well. So be prepared.
Teenagers are giant land snails. We heard it here first.
Both tend to move as slow. All right, moving on. Next article's over in Non Sequitur News. Weed recall sparks warning about, what were we talking about?
Are you making a joke about the headline here?
Weed recall sparks warning about dozens of products. But really, man, like, doesn't matter. I hope that everything is okay. That, at the end of the day, marijuana is actually a very powerful medicinal herb when not abused, and
even when abused.
So the recall was issued for products sold at licensed dispensaries throughout New York. Customers are urged to return the product. Anna Skinner. Oh, and so thousands of people walk into various dispensaries and just exhale smoke.
I don't think that's what they mean by recall.
I'm returning it. Anyway, the OCM issued the recall for Eat Sky High's LLC Sky High brand on Friday. The brand was a variety of products named after condiments, dessert toppings, and other items, all containing either 200 milligrams or 500 milligrams of tetrahydrocannabinol, also known as THC, or the stuff that makes you chill. And you know what? I would rather everybody smoke weed than drink alcohol and get in the car, because you don't see people in a car high racing down the road at 90 miles an hour. No, they're doing like 15 in a 85, and they think
true, but I'd rather neither of those groups get in the car.
True. Well, you're the silver lining in all of this. This recall is a precautionary measure because the required testing for consumer safety and product quality cannot be confirmed. The Office of the Cannabis Management has not received any reports of adverse effects caused by the consumption of this product. Investigation into this matter is ongoing. Recipients of the offending marijuana were quoted as saying, "What?
Maybe they wanted adverse effects, depending on what they were."
So the next article in Non Sequitur News, only 25 artists have multiple songs that are certified diamond. What's that song? Like a Diamond?
Oh, right. Rihanna, I think.
Yeah. Is it Shine Bright Like a Diamond?
Mm-hmm.
So here they all are. We're going to talk about it really briefly because it says RIAA gives diamond certifications to songs that have gone platinum 10 times. That's when you get diamond, apparently. Only 147 songs in history have been certified diamond, and 25 artists have multiple songs on the list. There's only 25 that have multiple songs. So Post Malone has the most with 9, following by Rihanna. What? Beyonce? The Queen is not on this
Rihanna.
list so far?
Okay,
oh,
that
hold
doesn't
on.
make any sense.
We need to keep on moving on to this. Okay, so the article's over at Business Insider, and Callie Algram is the author. And I cannot believe this, really? So Justin Bieber is number 1? They got this old picture of this dude. Give me a break. So in the year since, it has been bestowed sparingly if a song has moved at least 10 million equivalent units by combined sales and streaming numbers, and if an artist or label requests certification. Justin Bieber's Baby was only the second song in history to be certified diamond.
Okay, so that's interesting. 2 things that jump out at me. Pre-1999, it could be a fantastic song, but it's not there. But then also, it could be above that and the artist doesn't request it, and so it doesn't get certified.
Right. Yep. And it was 11 years ago that Baby was the certified diamond on May 9th. So 11 years ago. And Bieber received a second diamond certification in 2018 as a featured artist on Despacito, or In My Speedo, which is not
that would be the parody, right?
Daddy Yankee. Anyway. And then they got a third one in 2021 with the smash hit Sorry. And he earned a 4th in 2023 for Stay, a duet with the Kid Leroy. I won't go through all of the songs. Y'all all be able to go over and check this out. Just follow the link in the show notes over to ohmTown, which will give you the snippet that leads us over to our source. So Eminem is number 2, Lady Gaga is number 3, Imagine Dragons is number 4, and they list the article, the actual songs and more specifics over at Business Insider. Bruno Mars is number 5, Katy Perry is number 6, Pharrell is number 7, Florida Georgia Line, which I've never even heard of.
Yes, you have. I know of a couple songs by them, but I would not have predicted they were in the list here.
Have I heard of? Maybe I've heard of the songs, but not the group. Because I'm not a real fanatic about anything. I love good music, and I listen to everything from death metal to classical and everything in between. But maybe I've heard this. I don't know. I'd have to play Cruise, and I'd have to play Meant to Be to probably go, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Ed Sheeran is number 9, and The Weeknd.
I know. I'm not sure how you say that without any.
Is number 10. Do y'all want to know about the rest of them? Should I keep on going?
Yes, just say the names real fast.
All right. Number 11 is Drake. Number 12 is Post Malone. Number 13 is Cardi B. Maroon 5 is number 14. The Chainsmokers is number 15. 21 Pilots is number 16, which just makes it ironic. Sway Lee is number 17. You okay over there?
I've never heard of that artist.
Sway Lee. Earned a diamond certification in 2020 for Sunflower, a collaboration with Post Malone, which you do.
Interesting, is also on the list.
Yep. And he received a second award in 2022 as a featured artist on the French Montana's Unforgettable. So you definitely know Sunflower.
So everything was collaboration, though. Okay.
Yep. Number 18 is Michael Jackson. Nearly 40 years after the release, Michael Jackson's Billie Jean and Thriller were both certified diamond on August 29th, 2022. Then Macklemore, I like to say it like that. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis are number 19. Halsey is number 20. Rihanna is 21. Kanye West is 22. Extension is 23. Khalid is number 24, and Nicki Minaj is 25. Beyonce has never gone multiple double
Nor has
multiple
Taylor
diamond?
Swift. That's surprising because those are the two
What?
largest artists in terms of revenue, I think.
That is insane. Oh, you know why?
They haven't
didn't
requested it.
Yep.
Yep. I
Too
bet
much
they
attention.
had more than anybody on the list, both of them.
Yep. They're crushing it, but quietly. All right, moving on. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen from armored truck. And this is put on the list because moments before I was told that an armored truck was robbed, I said, nobody robs armored trucks.
And the response was, did you check a few minutes ago?
So remember how I put together ohmTown.com to manage my information overload? This is one of the reasons. So yeah, and then a quick search. Basically, like every 6 months to 2 years, sometimes there's a gap. An armored vehicle is robbed somewhere. Like there was an old one 4 years ago in France, but several in the United States over the last 8 years. It was shocking to actually look back and go, oh, I guess I'm wrong. Okay. My opinion has now changed. So if you're an armored truck driver or an armored truck, I suppose, if you identify as an armored truck, there is a really good chance that within 6 months, something's going to happen. So.
Well, that's kind of dire.
Yeah.
But yes, I would agree. For safety, as a PSA.
Yeah, don't identify as an armored truck. So the article is actually over at abcnews.go.com, but a blank page for 5 seconds as it loads. Arc. I'm looking at you, Arc browser. Nadine El Bawab and Jessica Gorman put the article together. The heist was carried out in broad daylight on Tuesday. Not this article. Although this article... No, the article was carried out in broad daylight on Wednesday. But anyway. So apparently what happened, the robbery happened outside the AutoZone in Delaware County when the two suspects assaulted the driver, took his weapon, and fled the scene with an unknown amount of money at around noon Tuesday.
Okay, the unknown part is a little confusing since I think it's all pretty registered and tracked.
Oh yeah, they know exactly how much. They just don't want to identify. Not until the prosecution. So the suspects fled in a Nissan Pathfinder. Nissan? Did I say Nissan? A Nissan
I think you did.
Pathfinder, or as I'm calling them from now on, a Nissan Pathfinder, and a photo of another vehicle with the same license plate, which they are not searching for and was not involved in the robbery. So they have, so they stole a license plate.
Oh, okay.
And the police went looking for the license plate, and it pointed them to some other vehicle. Whoops. So authorities have also released photos of the suspects and what they were wearing. So where is the pictures? Why not post the pictures, for crying out loud? They don't post the pictures in this ABC News. Weird.
Wasn't that a picture of the vehicles or no?
No, not the picture. They have photos of the suspects, but they don't have pictures of the people. Maybe it's in the video. Oh, the pictures are the back of their head. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So they must have known, like, where the cameras were, because that's what they've got.
Right, they're also in shadow.
What a trip. Weird. And just to put icing on the cake of the weirdness, investigators say that the vehicle they're searching for frequents Darby Township in Chester City. So they know what the vehicle looks like and believe that it's it's a regular.
I mean, if it goes there, I think they're going to find it. Now, obviously, if it goes somewhere else, that's a different issue.
Yeah, these people are kind of screwed. They'll be caught. Moving on. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Sam Altman sues over $27 million Batcave mansion sale. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman is suing a San Francisco property developer over its handling of a luxury house he bought, complete with a bat cave. I don't know why that deserves ASMR, but anyway.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, as one does, right? Don't you buy mansions with bat caves?
Correct. That's all I do. Well, the mayoral mansion is a bat cave. I haven't seen light in years. Well, 2.5 years. So Theo Berman is the author over at Newsweek.com. By the way, I scrolled down really fast because there's basically political hype in this video. And my last video was tagged as political affiliated speech in one of the... Because when I scroll, I don't talk about politics.
Because there was something near it or something.
Yeah, on the page that I'm talking about, there was something political, which is... it. Honestly, y'all need to just figure it out. You know, there's things that are incidental. It doesn't make it political speech because there's a sign in the background, right? Not on my set, not in my theater, not in my studio. Anyway, billionaire OpenAI purchased the home Troon Pacific, I guess it is the place that they bought it from. The lawsuit filed in San Francisco Superior Court and first highlighted by the San Francisco Chronicle claims that the developer Troon Pacific knowingly sold the property despite significant flaws. It's been registered as the official business address of Apollo Projects, the investment firm led by Altman and his brother Jack Altman, and used to support tech startups. At one point, the property was the most expensive listing in San Francisco. It boasts a wellness cottage, an infinity pool, and a bat cave-like garage, as well as private garden, and was featured in Architectural Digest back when it was listed as a price of $40 million.
Okay, well, being the most expensive property in San Francisco is quite a feat, because even a tiny property historically is outrageously expensive.
It has a little tower, or is that somewhere else? Is that somebody else's property? I mean, the infinity pool is pretty cool. I think
that's the tower in the background of the city, maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember San Francisco. I've been there a few times, but I don't really remember it. So the lawsuit also lists a badly installed plumbing system that sent raw sewage into the property, along with waterproofing issues that it alleges were known to Troon Pacific and the CEO, Greg Malin, personally. Oof. You know what you want to do. You want to get on the bad side of a billionaire. Oh, never mind. Anyway, Malin and his firm are accused of being aware of these flaws, but failing to disclose them to expedite the sale. The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages, including interest and attorney's fees, and whatever the cost of the solution is going to be. This is it's an underground curving bat cave-like entrance. I swear I've seen this somewhere in a movie.
I mean, maybe this was used as a movie set.
It's interesting. It has this like a charging port, and it has a car port that when you drive onto the platform, it turns the car around so you can just drive straight back out. It's a lazy Susan for vehicles.
I mean, that's pretty convenient. I don't think most people have that.
Altman is the owner of several properties across California and Hawaii, though he spends most of his time in San Francisco, the heart of the U.S. tech industry. All right. Doesn't have to be that way, folks. Work from home, and you can be anywhere. Moving on. Next article is over in Reality Hacker. A new Windows alternative could launch on PCs later this year. Oh, well, it's not going to get much traction. Huawei has developed a new operating system to be used in its desktops and laptops, and it could launch later this year. And guess who's not buying any Huawei products? So the article...
Maybe Mayor Watt?
The article is over at digitaltrends.com. I mean, I don't trust Windows. I don't trust Linux. I don't trust any operating system, really. The only one that I'm remotely trusting is iOS. But anyway, even that has some concerns. Willow Roberts over at digitaltrends.com put this article together. After a rough few years in the US, Huawei has turned to developing its own operating system for PCs, and it may be finally arriving later this year. Harmony OS, which is kind of like the Freedom Act, I'm sure, as it's called, has already been in use on smart devices like Huawei wearables and smartphones, but now a version of it may finally land on PCs in the form of Harmony OS Next. The rumor comes as a post over on Twitter that implies Harmony OS Next may be launching later this year based on some imagery on Huawei's developer website. The images show some different interfaces, including a Mac-like dock and widgets, because originality has died a long time ago. After the US, that's not what the article says, but after the US blocked Huawei's access to Android and Windows operating systems, Huawei started developing its own OS. And I'm sure that it isn't based on anybody else's OS. Nowhere is it.
No, we've never seen that happen.
No, this is ground up. Yeah. So the PC version currently in development, Harmony OS Next, however, is said to be Android free, right, and uses its own microkernel instead of Linux or Unix, right. This means it doesn't use Android code and can't run Android apps, instead only supporting apps in its own native format. All right, so it might be slightly problematic, however, considering China is planning for Harmony OS to be its national operating system as it ends its reliance on US technology. But, forgetting the politics for a second, Harmony OS has been growing incredibly fast within China over the past few years. Yeah, because it's mandated. At the start of 2024, it's officially overtook Apple's iOS as the second best-selling mobile OS in China. Huawei also created an open source version of the OS, Open Harmony, which is now controlled by a nonprofit called the Open Atom Foundation. So, yeah.
So that's interesting, because that makes me think about the whole situation with OpenAI and the for-profit and the non-for-profit.
Yep. It's pretty fascinating. So I don't know how... I know that I don't buy anything Huawei, but I do have other things that are, I would say, along the same line, and it will always kind of cause concern for security, but I'm not a big enough person to matter. So anyway, but en masse, we all are. So I don't like the exfiltration of data to anybody. My data inside my network should stay my information inside my network. You can keep your damn hands off it. Once I buy your product, you are not allowed to snoop, gather anything, me.
Copilot.
Next article is over in Technology Today. Ticketmaster warns customers to take action after hack, but there wasn't a problem, and the information didn't really mean jack shit, right? I mean, didn't amount to anything. Sorry. I almost made it. 40 minutes into the show, and I dropped the
My
S-bomb.
goodness.
Ticketmaster customers have been advised to sign up for a cybersecurity service after a hack in May. AT&T notified me that several phone numbers have been compromised. That's always lovely. I'm waiting for the Ticketmaster one. Joe Tidy over at bbc.com put the article together. They've got a picture from Getty Images of people pointing at Ticketmaster saying, "You bastards." That's not what it says. It's just a bunch of people at a concert pointing up at the stage, I'm sure. Or, oh, look, aliens. No?
We don't really know what they're pointing at.
Like, oh my God, hacked. The personal details of 560 million Ticketmaster customers worldwide were stolen in the hack, with cybercriminals then attempting to sell that information online. Ticketmaster has not responded to the BBC requesting. Basically, let me summarize the question. WTF? Hackers also stole encrypted credit card details, but the company has not responded to BBC's request. Again, the request, WTF? about the credit cards. Oh, and by the way, we said WTF about the other PII stuff.
That's right, but that's not actually the question.
No, they just want to know more about it. But there wasn't anything to worry about, right? No.
I mean, never. None of these companies that get hacked, it's like no data and it's not anything of concern.
No, company advises Canadian customers to sign up for identity monitoring services. Why Canadian customers? Why not everybody?
If your data is hacked and you're Canadian, it's concerning. If your data is hacked and you're from any other country,
It's a feature. Ticketmaster suggests people watch out for any suspicious looking emails that look like they're from the company. When a data breach happens, it can sometimes lead to secondary hacking or fraud attempts by other criminals who use your data to trick you into sending them money or downloading malicious software. This is something that I'm talking about regularly, called Click with Care. Trust but verify, folks. It's better to ask some questions, not of the person sending you an email, but to others, subject matter experts, banking people, your friends, your family, somebody that is tech savvy, street smart, online smart, the equivalent of being street smart. Ask around before you click anything. There is absolutely no hurry. If there is a hurry, believe me, you'll be able to sit there and go, well, I was doing my due diligence and y'all came across as being creepy bastards. So if anybody sends you an email and says, you need to hurry, you've got 24 hours or you're going to end up in jail, it's bullshit. I mean, it's bull hockey. Doggone it, I've said S twice. Anyway, so the group responsible for the Ticketmaster hack is called Shiny Hunters. It posted an advert on a hacking forum on 28th of May, offering the data for 560 million customers, and they got paid. I think they got paid. No, that was a different hack. So the gang is asking for $500,000 or 390,000 pounds for the data, and it's not clear if they have sold the tranche, which is a little slice of data.
Right. I mean, my suspicion is they get the money.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I don't know if it was AT&T or if it was, what was it? CKD, the automotive hack. I think they paid. No. AT&T paid them to delete the data, if I recall correctly.
Which just means they may have kept the data and will extort money again.
Yeah, and your information is out there. So trust that your information is out there and monitor everything. Moving on. The next article and the last one for today's non sequitur news is in the Wanted channel. The TinyPod transforms your old Apple Watch into an iPod-like minimalist phone. This thing looks pretty cool, by the way. The TinyPod is a case for your Apple Watch, which doesn't sound too exciting on its own. However, it's a unique angle. A click wheel that controls the Apple Watch's digital crown makes Apple's wearable look and feel like the company's first breakthrough product of the 21st century, the iPod. Although you can use it as a music player, it also works with everything else in watchOS, transforming Apple's smartwatch into a minimalist, distraction-free phone.
Okay, that sounds cool.
And if you have an older Apple Watch, you may want to do this and upgrade to the latest. So it says models in Series 4 through 9. So if you have the Series 4, it's woefully underpowered and undercapable compared to the 9 and incoming later iteration. The sensor array that's in the 4 pales in comparison to the 9. Speed, the screen, etc. Well, you can spend $80 and get this. Will Shanklin over at Engadget.com put the article together. It says, the deck statement says the $80 case has carefully mechanized components inside to control the watch's digital crown. And that's what it looks like.
It's a mini phone. It's very cute.
This thing looks so cool. It's tiny. It has the old school iPod click wheel. I don't know how that actually works, because obviously I haven't taken it apart or anything, but it says, however, its unique angle, a click wheel that controls the watch's digital crown, makes Apple's wearable look and feel like the company's first breakthrough product of the 21st century, the iPod. It works with models Series 4 through 9, along with the Apple Watch SE. There's two different versions. Actually, there's 41 and 40 millimeter and 45 and 44 millimeter Apple Watch TinyPods. So you have to choose which one. So meanwhile, another 49 millimeter version for the Apple Watch Ultra has to come out, because who wouldn't want to turn their $800 wearable into a minimalist iPhone? That one costs $90. There's also
I don't know about that.
There's also a TinyPod Lite, a $30 case sans click wheel. So yeah, if you're going to get the Apple Watch Ultra, you're not going to be turning it into a TinyPod, I don't think. I mean, unless you want to sit there and completely have everything off your wrist, but what's the point? So it says that click wheel is its core gimmick, and its creator apparently believes it will be safe from Apple's lawyers. The fact that it relies on an Apple product probably doesn't hurt. The case's wheel syncs its movement with the Apple Watch's digital crown via carefully mechanized components inside that make direct rotation contact with the Apple Watch's crown. So that little wheel on the side, apparently there's a meshing of gearworks on that side that when you turn the wheel, it actually rotates the crown. In other words, anywhere on the Apple Watch that lets you scroll with the crown will be scrollable with the TinyPod click wheel, in theory.
I mean, that's really neat.
And then it has two buttons on the side, and you can just hold it like that and do everything that you would normally do. I think it's brilliant.
I do too. Let's see if they get away with it.
I want this. This has to go in wanted for the Sunday show.
Okay.
So TinyPod is the product of Meteor, a former Snap designer and one-time jailbreak guru. In May, the creator posted that it began as a side project before being transformed into a real shipping product for one reason. Whenever I left the house with it, I loved how it felt, or how I felt. I would love to be able to just put that on my, like a lapel or something like that pin. And then you could just tap it and it would do certain things, like a communicator on Star Trek.
That would be pretty neat. Yeah, Star Trek.
So the TinyPod is available for pre-order ahead of shipments this summer. You can reserve one today at the product website, and they have a link over on engadget.com. So follow the link through ohmTown. It'll direct you right to it. Ta-da! There it is again, just so you see. I dig this.
Yeah, that's really cute.
But you'd have to go from going, what time is it, to, hold on a second, let me reach into my pants. And then you get a restraining order. I don't know why I get those. Anyway, that's it. So we're going to reboot our TinyPod, and that's going to snap us back to the front page. And I'm not going to refresh. Who knows? At any rate,
I don't think this time is the time to refresh.
Not until 2025. So I am Mayor Watt, and that is the Sentient AI's visualizer. Want to say
Can
bye?
I take that back? You probably could. But good night, ohmTown citizens. Okay. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News.
Oh, sorry.
It's actually changed since I reviewed it, so that was lucky.
Oh, God, real close. If you're not familiar with ohmTown, go over and check it out. It has 6 main categories, and inside that are 50 channels, 7 of which are regular shows here on ohmTown on twitch.tv/ohmTown and youtube.com/ohmTown. All 7 of these shows get turned into podcasts. 6 are weekly, 1 is a daily. Non Sequitur News is the daily. So go over and check it. In fact, you can actually go to Non Sequitur. I keep forgetting where I put it. It's under news and business, but new non sequitur news. If you click on that, you'll be more focused. But that's not how the news here works. The show takes a sampling of articles from all around the website, ohmTown.com. Once you become a citizen, you actually get additional context options. So you can ignore articles or save articles by swiping them with your finger or mouse, depending on if you're on a touchscreen mobile device or whatnot. And you can submit news. We don't publish the news in like per se. We aggregate the news from the source, and that is what gets posted. We don't put original content from any citizen on the stream or on the website, because we're focusing on what is sourced from journalistic sources and not original content. Otherwise, I could be putting all kinds of stuff on there. But keeping everything equal, we only get it from news sources that have been vetted. So anyway, we try to minimize opinion until it's us talking about our opinion on things and talking about the news. You could not be heard for that.
Well, we do give plenty of opinions once we get engaged.
Yep. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out. If you're in chat over on YouTube or on Twitch, thank you very much. Be sure to download the podcast. We had a big uptick in the podcast. So thank you very much. And if you like and subscribe over on YouTube, that helps us get discovered. Downloading the podcast, telling a friend, and following us here on twitch.tv. Be sure to follow us, though, because we sometimes go live a little bit earlier because mayoral duties prevent me from doing the show sometimes at 8 o'clock, and so I pull it forward a little bit. That being said, it will happen next week, in a week and a half. But more on that as we approach. Anyway, thank you very much. See you tomorrow. I want the TinyPod.